What is going on, guys? DBG here, and this is a video obviously that I don't want to make. I would much rather this not be the case, but it is the case, and it's only going to get worse. That's all I'm going to say. This is something that really started happening. It started going bad around March, April, and 2k it's evident with the amount of super packs 2k have launched. It is evident that 2k is trying to do something about this. And it is clear that there is nothing they can do. And it's also clear that what is going on right now is going to mean that this game mode is going to be borderline unplayable if you're spending no money or not spending every hour of your time in this game. So lads, I play on this account right here. I play probably, let's just say, 8 hours a week. Because realistically, that is what I play. And I play on a whole bunch of different accounts. On this specific account right here, I play 8 hours a week. And I've done that since the start of the year. So that's probably what a normal person plays. And right now I got a million MT, and you know what? I got a God Squad. I got a God Squad, I got a million MT. But a lot of that is from being good at the game. Like, I don't know what Chris Mullen is doing here. But like, a lot of that is, obviously it would be a lot more had I done the grinds myself. So subtract Siakam and take Larry Bird out of the team. Actually, no, realistically I would have been able to get, at this stage I would have gotten Larry Bird anyway. So just take Siakam out of the team and Hakeem. But in general, a lot of these guys like Glenn Rice, Jerry Lucas, Rudy, Hedo, Wes Unseld is cheap. A lot of these cards are from actually just winning at the game. And in fairness to 2K, I think it's the reason why they're giving such good rewards for going 12-0. They're giving such good rewards for actually being able to win at the game because it kind of gives people something to at least go towards. Because if it wasn't for that, the game would be borderline unplayable for people who don't spend money. And I'm almost certain that that's the reason why we're seeing cards like this card exist. Like, not a lot of people are talking about this, but you have got one of the best defensive... Where is he? Where's Nerlens Noel? You've got legitimately a top 10 stopper in this... A top 5 to 10 stopper in this game. You've got an all Hall of Fame Clamps player. You've got a... He's got 85 on-ball steal tendency. So, like, you've got someone that'll get bumpy. Like, you need, like, realistically, if you've got less than 3, if you can't afford Mutombo, and actually, this guy shoots better. So, realistically, if you've got less than, if you don't have Kareem, you probably should be running Nerlens Noel just in case you can come up against Kareem. And the reason for that is there is a bunch of people that are price fixing the market. And I don't even mean bunch of people, there is companies. There are realistically thousands of people that are involved in this. And it's not, and again, there's nothing quote-unquote illegal about it. It's against TOS, and I'm not going to be talking about that. But again, I've already made a video about it, and it's just getting worse. It's just getting worse. And the reason why it's so obvious this is happening is with Rashard Lewis. For example, he's going for 1.5 million. So normally, like in an actual, like realistic, like in a realistic setting, people will be bidding on these cards. And there will be a bidding war at the end. But the bidding war at the end doesn't really happen anymore on certain specific cards. Like, look at this. 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, like round up 1.5, 1.4, 1.4, 1.4, 1.4, 1.4. Same price. Two of the same prices in a row. So you know what that means? You know what that means? It means the exact same person had bid max. 1.4, 1.4, 1. 1.4. Okay, and it's suddenly 100,000. Is that not a little bit fishy? Is that not a little bit fishy? That as soon as the 1.4 million stops right here at this spot, all of the others are 200,000 with no bid. It is so blatant that this is people manipulating the market. It is the most obvious thing in history. That it's what people are doing. And there's a reason why you don't see Chris Webber being price fixed. At this stage, Shaq's not being price fixed because he doesn't go for enough. And they did the same thing with LeBron. It was the same thing when LeBron came out. I don't know what price LeBron is now because he's extremely rare. But like 1.3, like you can see right here, you can tell that he's not being quote unquote price fixed. Like he's not, because you can see like obviously it goes to 1.2 million here, but realistically, because he's people are bidding 1.5 million because he's realistically about 2 million MT. Like there's going to be a bidding war, and these are still way under. There's probably someone bidding 1.2 million trying to just get the card, but for someone like a Rashard Lewis, considering that it just stops at one exact point and the rest of them are 200k, it is so obvious. And yeah, you can look at this. It's going to end at 1.5 million. But yet, with 17 minutes to go, there's people bidding within 80k. That's not real. That is not a real person doing that. And do you want to know what it is? Do you want to know what's happening? The coin websites are bidding 1.44 million is what I'm guessing. I'm guessing they're bidding 1.44 million or close to that on every single one of these cards. And they're bidding up the cards between multiple different accounts in order for them all to be at 1.4 million. And what happens then is that they know that people are going, like realistically, people have the MT. A lot of people do have the MT to pay the 1.5 million. So every one of these bids are ending one single bid to two bids after the 1.4 million. They are basically banking on one person outbidding them, and they know it's going to happen. So they know they're going to get outbid every single time by a real person. These 1.46 million bids are not from people that want to buy the card. I'm telling you that right now, they're not. These 1.4481, the same bid, same bid, same bid, same bid. These are not from people that want to buy the card. These are from people that want the card to be more expensive so that you have to go to their websites to buy more MT. And that's the truth about it. That is the truth. I'm telling you this right now. I have absolutely no problem with coin buying and coin selling. I have no problem with it whatsoever. Like, it's against TOS. If you guys know the risk, like, there's no such thing as safe and reliable MT. There isn't. There is no such thing because there's always a risk of getting banned. There is always a risk. If you know the risk and are willing to break terms of service on and risk yourself getting banned, take the risk. Like, it is not, to me, I can advise against it. I wouldn't advise anyone to spend any money past their initial $60 ever on a video game. I would never advise that. And I've always said that. I will never advise people ever spending money on this game. I would never advise people buying VC. I would never advise people buying MT. But you know what? Just in terms morally, I don't have a problem with it. The problem is that the coin farmers are ruining the market for everyone that doesn't buy coins. And that is a problem. That is a massive, massive problem. Because this has only really started happening with Shaq. Shaq was the first card where it really happened with. Maybe there was other cards that we didn't know. And the people that are promoting this are always going to use the, oh, Bobby Jones was 400k excuse. He was not 400k the day of the cards. If you want to actually look back at 2k18 about these certain cards, look back at the actual situation with the Giannis card. The Giannis in 2k18 is the equivalent to this Pink Diamond Kareem. That Giannis card ended up being super expensive when the cards got rare. The Bobby Jones card was so expensive because he was so rare. The Paul George set was way more expensive 3 months after it came out than it was when it came out because of the rarity of cards. That is what supply and demand is. But when 2K release infinite super packs to push up the supply of every one of these cards, the demand, because more and more people are locking it in, I can guarantee you the demand is either staying the same or dropping. These cards, when the supply increases and the demand stays the same, the price should drop. But the price doesn't because they're price fixed. They're being price fixed by people that want you to spend more on MT. Again, a perfect example is that evolution set from 2K18. If people want to bring up the Bobby Jones situation with him being expensive, because there was like 3 of them on the market at some stages, like people were selling. Bobby Jones was 10k when that card came out. It was just that he became so rare over time that the price went up. And that's what's going to happen. Like, it's a reason why I don't think LeBron's being price fixed right now, because there's none of them. Like, everyone wants LeBron. The supply is, or the demand is still pretty high, and there's like no supply. There's none of these cards in the market. At some stages, like 5, 6 of them on the market. There's a reason why LeBron James is expensive, and it's because of the supply and demand. Not because I don't believe he's being price fixed right now. I believe they have changed their whole target to Rashard Lewis, and it's so obvious they have, because there's been no bids put on the last 10 minutes on any of these cards. Oh, 1.6 million. Okay, someone obviously outbid a one. So that was the 1 million one. Yeah, was it? No, someone outbid a 1.4 million. And they outbid it 1 to 1.6 million probably. But like, it's what's happening. It is very evident what's happening. But again, we look back at the Giannis from 2K18. It was actually known as being really cheap when it came out for the best card in the game, because everyone was opening packs, so the supply was so high. And because the supply was so high, people were getting really high rated and good cards for cheap. And that's how markets work. But what is happening is that I can guarantee you that I'd say 70% of all MT in the world from every single player is being owned by these websites. I can almost guarantee that. I've seen pictures of accounts from these websites, they're coin farmers, with 30 million MT on them. And supposedly they are quote unquote small scale accounts. And some of these accounts have 100 million MT. These control the market. To them, all they're doing, like it costs them so little to get the labor to farm the coins and MT, is that they're pushing up the price of the cards. So that, for example, if you see 1.5 million MT and you're just Rashard Lewis off, You might think, you know what, I'm going to spend $150 to get Rashard Lewis. And with that $150, they can probably turn that 1.5 or that $150 into probably 5 million MT. And then suddenly sell that for more money, and the cycle continues. But I've made a video about this. What do I think? Why am I saying it's a problem? Is that this was a big problem. This has been a big problem since about April. The problem is that once 2k21 starts, this starts all over again. This starts all over again because, let's be real, the coin promoting and the coin sites didn't really start to take over. And I know for a fact that they didn't really start to take over until about November, December. And then by about January, February, they really started pushing it. And I know this because the offers I'm getting to promote them in my email are constantly getting higher and higher and higher. So evidently they're getting more and more business. And at one stage I was getting offered more when I was pulling in less views. So obviously people are buying more MT. And that's the thing. It's a cycle. It is a cycle where to compete, you're looking like you're going to have to buy MT. But the only reason you have to buy MT is because the coin sites are ruining the market. So the coin sites are ruining the market so that you have to use the coin sites more. Like, it is a case of this game needs, like, I don't know what 2K can do. Can 2K ban people buying coins? Maybe. Can 2K try to get the farming accounts banned? That would help. That would most definitely help. But it's a hard one because I'm not sure if there's anything 2K can do on their end. I'm just saying that this is something that's going to get worse. It's going to get worse before it gets better. Yeah, Rashard Lewis is this week's example. 2K are probably going to go and find some way to release super packs with Rashard Lewis in it. And if 2K end up doing something where they give everyone a Rashard Lewis, it'll be another card. But unlike last year where that other card, like for example Trey Young, or was it Kyrie who locked in for Shaq, who was again this year's equivalent, or last year's equivalent of Kareem, he went up to about 500-600k because of the way coin sites are, the amount of people buying it, and just how much MT all these places have stocked up and how much people are buying. You can see that those price fixes, rather than supply and demand what it used to be, going up to 600-700k, you might see average cards going up to 1-2 million. Solely because we don't control the market. The players don't control the market. 2K don't control the market. The market is controlled by these third-party MT sites. And you better believe that for that reason, I can't see the vast majority of people, unless you want to spend money on the game from now on, not this year, not next year, not the year after, being able to afford the best players in the game. Because it's just simply a completely unfair playing field. And yeah, I get it, people buying VC have an unfair advantage. I do agree with that. But at least if a bunch of people are buying VC and they flood the market, in previous years, that meant that cards are going to be cheaper because there's a higher supply. However, it's just not the case with the coin sites. Anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry it's in restructured. It's just a mini rant, but I'm just annoyed that I've played this game in the start of the year. Realistically, I sell all my players. I still don't have enough money to get a specific card, and I have millions of MT. And not only that, it's like, I'm good with that. At some stage, like, look, I can use Nerlens the ball. I can guard most people using Kareem. I don't really care. I can win with the lower tier cards. But it's for the people that can't, that this has now meant that no matter how much you're grinding the game, no matter what you're doing, it doesn't matter. This is slowly becoming FIFA. And you're going to see, just like you saw with the Ronaldo card in FIFA this year, you're going to see these cards that are completely unattainable to anyone who doesn't spend money. And this is the first year that I would say, yeah, there's a lot of cards that are straight up unattainable. Unless you are a super trader like Space with Bird or JD. And even at that, those guys, like, the only game that they play is this. Like, it's Josh's job. So, like, it's hard to talk with those people because they're in a position where they can spend 6 hours a day sniping. Where they can spend most of the time in this game, and the average person isn't that. This is something that will ruin the game for the average player. And the more 2K release these broken cards, that the more they make the game pay to win, the more the average player is going to struggle. And that's just it. Like, look, I'm going to get the cards. I don't care. But it's the fact that the vast majority, 99% of the people in this game, not only will they not be able to get the cards, which is fine, like, fair enough, only a few people being able to afford a card, but them to never, like, for the card realistically to not be attainable. without spending money. It is ridiculous. Anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Ooh, I've been on the flex since flex zone.